Hello everybody, my name is Trang and I'm a member of group 9. My group has 5 members. Those are Nguyễn Thị Thanh Nhạc, Nguyễn Thùy Trâm Anh, Lê Vân Hằng, Nguyễn Ngọc Hà My, and me, Lê Thị Thùy Trang. We have learned from Unit 9 about the US manufacturing, the production process, and the operating management techniques. We know that the US economy depends largely on manufacturing. They create a large amount of products as well as machines which are critical to the US citizen. In 2010, US was the second largest manufacturer of the world with 1696.7 billion of dollars of industrial output. However, the economy of US had to face with many challenges from the foreign competitor. As you can see in this chart, that shows the relationship between the manufacturing output and the manufacturing employment. You can see that through year the manufacturing output increased, but the employment of the US manufacturing decreased. That shows the fact that there are many of jobs lost to the foreign company. So, how the US company face with these challenges and maintain their competitive edge? Let's list down some methods of the US company. Those are focusing on the customer, maintaining the relationship between the supplier and company so that can satisfy the customer need, utilizing the internet, adopting new technology, practicing continuous improvement, saving on cost through design selection. Those are some methods that the US company do to maintain their competitive edge. And I will explain it more in the next part when I answer the case question. Now we will move to the main part of our presentation. In my presentation, those are 3 parts. The first part is about the background of Ball Corporation, and the second part will be the answer of the case question. Let's start with the background of Ball Corporation. Ball Corporation was founded in 1880 by 5 brothers, the Ball brothers. They first best known for their glass can container like jars, lids, and the related product with for the home canning. At the first time, they create the glass container, and then they made a transition to the more contemporary packaging for beverage in 1950s and 1960s. That is the aluminum packaging for beverage. After being privately owned and family owned for many years, in 1972, Ball became the public company. Then they expanded and diversified into other ventures, including the aerospace technology, and then they became the world's largest manufacturer of recyclable metal beverage and food container. So, what made Ball so successful? Let me talk about the continuous can making process. which is the main factor building up the reputation of both. Let me introduce you a little bit about the continuous process. That is the process with no interruption. That means you don't have to stop the processing and move your product to another area to completely produce them. Now I will talk the step of producing product of board. The first step called the copper start. In this step, 10,000 pounds of aluminum are rolled in a coil, and after the coil came in, a bread stamped out the can into a cup that had the shape like the tuna can. After that, the tuna can are sent to the body maker, as we can call it the draw and iron. In the body maker, the can are stretched to the length we want it to be. And that can is conveyed to the streamer. The streamer makes the can down at the standard height. After this step, the can will be cleaned by the 6-stage washer, including the wash station, the pre-wash station, the wash station, 2 rinse, and a wash station. After coming out from the 6-stage washer, the can will be dried at the 250 degrees and stay there for a couple of minutes. Then they will move to the decorator. The oven function of this decorator is rolling the ink on each can. Next, the cans are moved to the necker and flanger area. In this area, we can reduce the diameter of the cans so they can have the suitable neck or flange. And at the last step, those cans are gathered and stored in the warehouse. As we can see in Boeing Corporation, cans are manufactured on automated machinery. By using technology effectively, Boeing can not only manufacture effectively but also reduce the cost. Next, we will move to an important part, that is answering the case question. The first question of this video case is that, looking at the future of manufacturing in the United States, do you think US companies like Boeing are adapting to these challenges of foreign manufacturer? What is Boeing doing to stay competitive? To answer this question, let's remind you a little bit of the challenges of Boeing. The challenges is that in the manufacturing economy, they are more and more competitive, and many jobs are lost to the foreign competitor from China, India, and so on. And to stay competitive, Boeing first shorten the production cycle to reduce the cost. Moreover, the engineer, the force, have changed the spec of machine in some cases in order those to work more efficient, faster, and better. They also looking for innovation, helping figure out how to make package were lighter and has less metal in them, as well as cooperating with car company in order to produce some products similar to the customer. Secondly, to stay competitive, Bohr limit outsourcing production by locating its facility near its customer and its supplier. That makes the distribution faster, easier, and cheaper. Next, they also use robotics and different things that nature to transfer things, so they can reduce the cost to hire employees. Next, they hold the just in time with the vendor. That means they sign in contract with their vendor to ensure that they can hold the just in time. This way, both can shorten the time of stock, save money for space, staff. Also, they set up the secondary supplier. The reason for this is if there are a hiccup in it, the ball can go back up with the supplier. In addition, they consider quality as the main factor. For example, with customers who require so many different things, they iterate a little bit from all the different quality out there. And as last step, they lightweight to get their products back to save energy and raw material. The next question of this video's case is, this video mentioned the loss of US manufacturing jobs to overseas location. What is its goal? And what is the opposite trend that has occurred in the US with companies like Toyota and Honda? My answer is that the video case mentioned the loss of the US manufacturing job to overseas location called outsourcing. This term means contracting with the other company, usually in another country, to do some our own function of the firm. Thus, outsourcing has occurred, caused many bad sequences to some stage where job has been lost to the overseas competitor. The opposite trend is called insourcing. It means that foreign companies come to do manufacturing activity in domestic area and offer jobs to the local employees. For example, Korea-based Hyundai operates design and engineering headquarters in Michigan. Japanese automaker Honda and Toyota have been producing cars in United States for many years. This way, insourcing creates many new US jobs and help offset the job being outsourced. Next, let's move to the last question of this video case. The question is that what it means by Six Sigma. Six Sigma in many organizations simply means the measure of quality which strive for the near perfection. Six Sigma is a discipline, the data-driven approach to eliminate the defects in the process. The defects mean the mistake in producing things. The fundamental of Six Sigma is to improve the output quality by identifying and removing the cause of the defects. There are two types of the Six Sigma: the Six Sigma DMAIC and Six Sigma DMADV, which each term names of Six Sigma is stand for different steps. Six Sigma AIC stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control, which is used to correct the mistake in the process. And TMITV stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Design, and Validate, which is used to create a new process. To conclude, we know that the world is changing very fast, but the US manufacturer tries their best to adapt with the challenges in manufacturing. The foundation of new corporation says the world is changing very fast. The big didn't beat the small anymore. It's the fast beating the slow. So, learning how to handle the challenges is a big step to success. That's the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.